All right, if you haven't done DMR, I am going to start with that. If you need to flip past it, go right ahead. But this is kind of a review, and it does lead into our lesson today. So when we see expand, often last year you guys probably learned FOIL to do this. Sorry. Which means essentially I have to just distribute everything to each, everything in the first set of parentheses to the second and vice versa. So 2x times 3x is 6x squared. 2x times negative 1 is negative 2x. 4 times 3x is 12x. And 4 times negative 1 is negative 4. Then simplify like terms. So I have 6x squared plus 10x minus 4. The next one is a similar idea. Because it says it's squared, it means I have two of them. And again, I have to distribute everything, or often we learn the term FOIL for this. So 5x times 5x is 5x squared. 5x times negative 2 is negative 10x, sorry, it's negative 2y, so negative 10xy. It's going to be another negative 10xy, and that's going to become a positive 4y squared. Simplify with like terms, 5x squared minus 20xy plus 4y squared. Okay. Simplifying the radical is just where if I see, is there a perfect square that fits into it? So the square root of 25, or square root of 75 could be split into the square root of 25 times the square root of 3. I chose 25 because I know the square root of that is 5. Square root of 3 I don't know. It's irrational, so I leave it just like that. Okay, here I'm going to break this down to the square root of 100, because that is a perfect square, times the square root of 2, times the square root of x squared. So I take anything that I can square root. Square root of 100 is 10. Square root of x squared is x. And square root of 2 is irrational, so I leave it under the radical sign. Last one. Let's see. Square root of 16 times the square root of 2, that's 32. X cubed, because square root is kind of taking 1/2 of the exponent, so I can't do it when it's the third power because I would get a decimal. So I'm going to split those up to x squared and x, and then the square root of y to the 4th I can do because it has an even exponent. I'm going to take the square roots that I know. Square root of 16 is 4. Square root of x squared is x. Square root of y squared is, or y to the 4th is y squared. Then I'm going to leave those last two. And then that's my answer. All right, now to work on Pythagorean's theorem. We are going to actually prove Pythagorean's theorem. I made a little typo here. This should say square. So we're going to start by finding the large area, the whole square altogether. So if I need to find that whole thing, we're going to say that that side is a plus b times a plus b. So this is kind of like in our DMR here of how can I expand that to look a little different. So I'm going to FOIL. A times a equals a squared. A times b is ab plus another ab plus b squared. Combine like terms, I get a squared plus 2ab plus b squared is going to be the area of the entire thing. Now I'm going to actually look at it a different way to find area. Alright, now we are going to find the area of the entire thing, but look at it as pieces instead of one huge spot. So, sorry, again it should say square. So if I look at all those little triangles, I have four right triangles. The area of each one would be 1/2 a times b. I have 4 of those. Plus, this is a square in the center, and that area would be c times c, so plus c squared. Okay, so again, I look at it as just look at it as one huge square, and then I said, okay, well, what if I took it into all the little pieces and did that? Now, how can we use this to prove Pythagorean's theorem? Well, if you think back, this finds the area of the entire thing, as does this. So because they both find the same thing, I can set them equal to each other. So I'm going to say 4 times 1/2 ab plus c squared equals, and we simplified it down to this, a squared plus 2ab plus b squared. Okay, well, I bet I can simplify that. That becomes 2ab plus c squared equals a squared plus 2ab plus b squared. If I get rid of the 2ab on both sides, I get c squared equals a squared plus b squared. So right there, is actually the proof of why Pythagorean theorem works, is because we can find the area in both ways and we get the same thing. So that's just our proof of Pythagorean's theorem. Yay! I know that makes you all happy.